Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to PCM21. It's Stage Racer, and we are on episode 58. I'm the current world champion, and I think I won the double in the US last year. Did I? I don't remember. Gosh. The further I get into this game, the further I go down the rabbit hole of real life. Has just been insanely busy recently. And I'm finding it harder and harder to get time to keep up with the channel. Hence, the last episode didn't happen earlier this week, and that's probably, 3 out of the last 4 weeks where that's occurred. Try to keep up as best I can, but it's been hard. It's been rough. It's not, for me, not aided by the fact that this little sun glare that I get through that little pocket in my window where there's stuff up on the windowsill. It used to occur at like 5:30 in the evening. Now it occurs at 2:58 in the afternoon. It's a little early in the day for that to be happening because this is still a regular recording time for me. 5:30 is not usually. I'm done with my recording for the day, doing my editing, moving on. Well, anyway, myself and my 84 mountain rating is useless on a only slightly undulating time trial here, but with 18.1k to go, I do have a positive race day condition, which is good. It is very good, because even though my expectation is a 0, I have gastroenteritis, aka the stomach flu. That gives me an 82 time trial, a 79 prologue. We are ever so slightly towards the time trial side of 50% on this split. 17.5k would be an even split, 50-50. And we are out of the box going hard. 18k, I figure that's not territory to be going flat out all the way through this thing. We'll see. For now, we go 84, and that seems to be just about helping us get into a better state. We'll go 85 now. That's a +2 on the race day condition. That makes me hopeful. Okay, we're going to go 86 on the hill, especially with my rating. 86 is good to go. So we're going to go 86 for a little bit longer here, as we do have the energy to keep pushing. In fact, the red bar really hasn't been dipping, even though it should be at this stage. Let's push a little bit harder. 87. First time check, we were 10th, 13 seconds down. That's not great. My hope is to get a top 3. We're not the favorite, especially when it's not a longer time trial. If it was a longer time trial, we might be just about the favorite. But on a shorter one that uses a bit of prologue with that 75 base, hurts my chances a little bit. We're going to ease off for a second and push on this hill again. Let's attack that a little bit. And we are up to third, just 2 seconds down. There you go. Okay, in comparison, we are wearing the number 11, by the way, so there's one more rider after me. You have Craddock, Barta, McNulty. So one of those two, because I've been bumped down to 4th, but I'm just 2 seconds off the pace. 2k to go, and a little bit of downhill through here means I think we can kind of attack this. Oh, no, attacked it too much. 1 second off the pace. We're ahead of McNulty, maybe. The countback, they've switched places on us so many times. It will be a top 3. That was my goal. I wanted 3rd. It's Barta for the win. Craddock for the win. Barta 2nd. And it flip-flopped on me as well. McNulty 3rd. I get 4th. I despise how the game does that. It should be able to count tenths. It shouldn't swap order after the fact. If it places you 3rd and them 4th, you should be 3rd and them 4th. It should know how to count. Bumped off the podium by whatever game code decided that I hadn't, after all, claimed the win. At least for me, getting bumped off the podium like that. And we're 12 seconds clear. We're within 1 second. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. If I didn't run out a red bar, that might have been 1 second. That might have been me equal with Craddock and Barta. And then it unflips. Look at that. So it had Craddock, Barta, me, McNulty. Then it said Barta, Craddock, McNulty, me. And now it says Craddock, Barta, McNulty. I drew the short end of the stick on that one. Bumped out of the top 3. 1 second from winning. And I'm not even on the podium. All right, hello and welcome. It is the U.S. National Championships. I don't know what we just competed in, of course, was the individual time trial of that one. If you didn't catch that, I'm not sure. I actually introduced it. I have a free element roll and finish in the top 10. I have 2 teammates that are supposed to be working for me. But at the moment, they're not committed to that task. Wearing the number 1 jersey is Matteo Jorgensen, top puncher. I'm only in the 61 jersey. I am definitely not among the favorites. But I have won here once. Last season, right? Same place, isn't it?
There's a breakaway.
We'll see. We have roughly 40 in the peloton. We already have some riders off the back, losing ground. Luckily regaining contact because 2 of the 4 riders that were off the back were my teammates. And you can see how a lot of them struggling already. For me, actually, this is good. The harder we push, the more it's going to come down to that mountain rating, that resistance. The more it's going to diminish the field and give me an opportunity to ride off into the sunset and claim victory. 171k left to go. It's a long one. The gap right now at 1:42. I'm hoping we keep pushing to keep this thing close because you could already see there's a second attempt here. Greg Daniel on the attack. Justin Hawaiian on the attack. It definitely sat up a bit though, letting it go away slightly anyway. 2:13 the gap to the front. Front still split up. We see that there's 4 riders counted ahead of us, but then there's more because there's still an E1. It's just 1 additional rider, so there's 5 riders off the front, but we're back within that 2-minute mark. So again, I like this. The harder we push, the more wear and tear it's going to put into riders, which ultimately is good for me outside of the flat rating part. Still no team control at this stage. I'm still riding solo. Front group has broken up. That's from that hard push. 4 riders coming back together after they went over the top. Just over a minute up the road. You can see all 5 of them now, with that gap getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And now there's just 3 riders off the front. And they're all split up. They're all going individual. We are going to see a new breakaway forming soon. Single rider is 10.5 minutes off back, otherwise the entire peloton is together. In fact, now the entire peloton is together. New fresh attacks, including Keegan Swerble, Ben King. That's some strong riders going clear, comparative to the field, anyway. And they have a 7-minute advantage. Those 6 riders are going to finish 1 through 6. Barta, Vermark, Palace, Tolman, King, and Swerble. I'm going to attack on the next climb. I have no choice. I got to leave this group behind, and fast. I have no teammates. I got to relay from now. 8:11, otherwise that gap's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow. I have to attack on the next climb. You better believe that... Thank you, Garrison, for giving me water. You better believe that the 38 riders behind me, or let's say 35 riders, my non-teammates, half of them are going to respond to an attack from me, even though I'm only 8th favorite for this race. Going clear. Wow, they have not responded. I am 1:20 up the road already. But can I catch the front group? So let me tell you, that group is absolutely going to win. I've gone 3 minutes clear already. They are allowing it to happen. Oh, yes, they are. Okay, we go over the top. Now we're going to really, really back off from here. I don't care if that gap does not close down. We need to get that heart rate down. We need to conserve that energy to get back in this. I mean, I'm 5.5 minutes clear of the peloton. They are just not moving. In fact, it's over 10 minutes now back to the peloton. This is your top 7, but I've got to catch that front group. I gained 3.5 minutes on them on that climb. Heart rate down right now. The gap's opened up by about 20 seconds, but that's allowed me to get a little bit of recovery in. Okay, I'm not good on the flat, so I don't want to push too hard. We'll try a 72 for now. That should about keep my energy sustained anyway, and keep the gap about the same out ahead of us. Breakaway objective, at least I'm meeting that at the very least. I'm looking at a top 7 in the race, even if I don't catch the front 6. And into the climb, that's my area of strength, so we'll not push 85. I can't afford to go that hard, but at an 81 I should really close that gap down quickly, and I am. It's already down to 4 minutes. Down to 2.5. 2 minutes, 143. We go over the top. Really low on energy though, but I gained 3 minutes on them that time through. This time though, the energy is quite a bit lower than what it was. Let's go ahead and get water again, even though I still have some water left. Take that as an opportunity for the heart rate to get a little bit lower. 141. That's where we're at now, and here's the proper descent. Ease off, get some heart rate, get some energy back in, get that yellow bar back up. I'm within a minute anyway. I've closed them down. We are 18.5 minutes clear. 18.5 minutes. 51 seconds behind. I'm going to continue to not push hard. They have really sat up, and this is making the catch very easy. And we've done it. 20 minutes clear of the pack. These guys not even working, but somebody is, and the gap behind is huge. So I'm not going to bother working. I need to get back to full strength. I will not attack them this time, but you better believe that I will think about it next time and see what happens. Actually, now would be the time to attack and see what happens. Are they interested? They are. Only slightly, though.
Some riders are exploiting this opportunity to attack.
Climb at my pace, see what happens. The 6 of them back together is a bad sign for me. I just wanted to test the waters. Test the waters. Go back to getting recovery going. Will they even catch up to me? Because if they don't, I can continue to ride clear. No, they've caught up to me. Okay. That was me testing the waters to see what happens. I didn't want to do it on the next climb because I need to recover my energy before the final climb. Top 7, secure. Already that puts me one place higher than the media prediction. And this is a good group. I mean, these are, all 7 are among the top 15 favorites for this race. And with gap holding at 20 minutes, I don't have to worry about any sort of chase. I've already fully recovered, but guaranteed, even at fully recovered, that is less yellow bar than what these guys are going to have. They're barely riding. They are barely riding, and they've been riding together as a group. I had to chase down a 5-minute gap to get up with these guys. So for that, this time through, we ride defensively. Next time through, we attack and leave their butts behind. Gaps actually opened up even further, even though we are not pushing. Peloton just straight up said, "Oh, those guys went off the front. Yeah, we're not gonna beat them." Look at that. We are close to lapping. They are going down the hill right now. Still a little ways ahead. This is about the spot where they were at, where we spotted their names, but still. Breakaway objective complete. We got to the 100% mark. Let's get water one final time. 25k still to go. And for me, As somebody who only has acceleration and not sprint, my job is to get away on the climb. 86 mountain, 80 hills today, 77 acceleration, and 79 resistance. That's the key. That's the goal. We're going to attack early, right at the base of the climb. Let's go ahead and relay because I want to go forward. Okay, Swerble attacking before the climb. Interesting choice. And I want to wait until we catch him. And then we attack.
The riders are going through a very tough portion with percentages above 10%.
Okay. Oh, I was fine with Bennett being with me. 2-man. You got a 50-50 shot at that point. 85 through the rest of the climb because, you know, why not? 13K to go. Now we back off a little bit to try to get the rest of the way. We have a 15-second advantage. It's not much. It's not much. And the 6 of them are back together, so the 5 caught up. We have the descent through here. We have the gel. We have 9K, and I've been caught. Damn. That was my chance. That was my chance. I do not have the energy now to do anything here in the last 6K, though I'm actually recovering really fast.
The finish line is getting close. The riders just passed the 5 kilometers.
We're going to go arrow. We're going to go sneak. We're going to go forward. While we're still on the descent. We're not on the descent anymore, but the arrow, the sneak, everything is happening, and we're going to try to go clear early and then try to hold them off.
And off he goes.
So we're going to give our sprint what we can give, and then we continue on. We're only 5 seconds ahead. I'm going to be caught by at least one rider. I will not win, but can we hold off the other 5 for a top 2? Looking behind. Nope, here they come. Here they come. They're all going to overtake me. Or at least down to 6th place. I was just never going to win a sprint against these guys. Ben King is absolutely a favorite of that group. For Mark, Barta, Palace, Tolman, I was right about the 6th place. Swerble was the other one who attacked following me. He didn't quite make it. I would have been happy with the earlier attack if, what was that, Barta? Whoever it was, Swerble, if they had gone with me. 2-man could probably hold off the chasing 5. 1 man's not going to do it, and they caught me pretty quick. The second attempt didn't succeed either. Top 5 would have been nice. 6th is okay. It's not a great profile for me, a race like this. We tried. Didn't pan out, but it was close. It was close. We were definitely staring down at that finish line first. We just didn't cross it first. Before I wrap this episode up, because next up for us is the Tour de France, and I want that to be dedicated as Tour de France, so I know this is going to be a little bit of a short video, but let's go ahead and get our preparations for the Tour de France out of the way while this one's short, and that'll get us right into the racing next time. You see, we're coming off the Giro d'Italia, and over the course of the Giro, you can see how I went from 0 fatigue to 30 fatigue over the course of that race. Now, the week that it ended, we kind of leveled off, but then we had the Tour de Suisse, which brought us right back up, and then now the national championships. So I worked really hard to make sure all of our training was minimal. And that brought us back down at least to the point of no fatigue. However, we're still at about 20. So based on the Giro, where we went plus 30, you would figure by the time we end, we'll be at about a 50. We should hopefully never quite cross that mark, or only in the final stage or so. That'll help us a little bit, but only a little. Prediction-wise, I have a feeling we're going to be right around that mark. So that means for the first handful of days, we're fine. No tiredness. After that, we will have that limited tiredness, limited fatigue, but we should hopefully never go over that 50 mark, or only right around the final day, which means we shouldn't suffer. Hopefully. Have these 2 races back-to-back and the Tour de Suisse in between. Terrible combination. That's what happens when you qualify for a world tour and have, 8, 9 members on the entire team, and you're the team leader through and through for every stage race. That's the season we're facing. It's tough. But we'll get through. I think we're going to be just about okay. I think we brought it down enough to get through 19 to 20 stages without an issue, without taking a penalty on our race day condition. Now, the other thing that we needed to do as we try to build back in, we have the freshness, we have the fitness. They are optimal. They are right where we want them to be. The fitness peak is at 55 points. We need to get to a 90 before we can trigger fitness peak. So we need 35 more points. And I'm trying to remember the values off the top of my head. And, well, I don't know. My memory's not what it once was, if you didn't hear me speaking earlier, where I'm having difficulty remembering when we won the national championships. Was that last season? Was it the season before? I know we won the Worlds a year ago. Or was that the year before? Anyway, I know we've won the World Time Trial, the National Time Trial, and the National Championships. And of course, today it was disappointing to be so close to both and not be able to come away with either. I would have been fine with one win. I'm okay with not winning either. It's fine. We've won the jersey before. We don't have to win it every year, especially when the profile is for a puncher. Not for us. Puncher with a sprint capability. Definitely not for us. So, really hard pressed to try to claim a win on that one. Especially when it's 0 team support, 7-man breakaway that we had to chase down, catch by 5 minutes, blah, 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 blah. Time trial. 1 second away, missing the podium entirely. I mean, just bad luck is a good part of that. Tactically, I tried things. They didn't succeed. Had I not tried things, we definitely would not have succeeded. We had to try something. It just didn't pan out. It happens. Anyway, 35 points of progression for Fitness Peak with days of racing. You're going to get 3, 6, 9 days before we have a day off. 3 points per day, that's 27. We'll get a couple points that day, that's like 29. That would put us at about 32. That would put us at about 35 after 11 stages. So actually it's looking manageable. Somewhere around stage 12, we should be able to trigger that fitness peak. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and look at the profile for the Tour de France. This year, 21 stages, of course. 11 flat stages. Wow. Okay, that's going to go by fast. 4 hill stages, 6 mountain stages. Of course, that's including the time trials, which there are 2 individual time trials, both on the flat. Both relatively short, 13K, 21K. That's not very good for me, right? Between the two, you average those out, you add it together, you got 34K. So you divide that in half, that's 17. 17.5 is the exact split between your prologue and your time trial rating. So based on that, I'm looking at an average time trial ability totally flat, which it might not be, but looking at a 77.5. That's still good. But that's not going to be take a top 3 on the stage and gain time on all your rivals. That's get a top 10 on the stage, lose a few seconds to a couple rivals, and gain some time on others, but definitely not substantial time. So the time trial will only benefit me slightly in this tour. 6 mountain stages, that's going to be the key, but I have won punchy stages before when done right. That's totally flat. That is hardly punchy. It's going to be hard to open any sort of gaps. It's going to be hard for me to get a top 3, so I probably won't gain any time there. But it's going to be really hard for there to be any sorts of gaps in a small 2-kilometer climb that eases off near the top. First mountain stage, not very mountainous. It's looking more like a Giro type classification. Does max out at 18%. Averages at almost 9. But at 5.5K, small gaps. But you could absolutely blow up on a climb like that because it's going to go pretty hard pretty fast. To me, that's for the tour. That's more of a punchy stage, though. Right? It's going to take somebody with that mountain/hills, that punchy combo to win a stage like that, as short as that climb is. 8, that almost looks like more of a mountain stage to me. 12K, 6%. But the length, it's more than twice the length of the other one, but it doesn't finish there. Finishes here. That's a definite mountain stage. 3 alls cat. Whew. Colombier. The second of those climbs. But we're going up the shorter side. It's still an alls cat. We're going up the shorter side, though. And it opens with 3 early climbs as well. So that's going to be an intense stage number 9. Very decisive. And we won't have that fitness peak just yet. 10 flat, 11 flat, 12. Hopefully we have it. Hopefully we have it by here. Hopefully I've done my math correctly. Parasword. And yeah, that's going to be big. And it finishes with another little one. Another 2.5K. That's going to be a big decisive day. I absolutely think it's already going to be individual riders by this point. And then it's going to continue that way to the finish. Mountain stage on 13, but that one's looking like it's going to be really hard to open any sort of gaps. Yeah, it's going to be a small group finish, you would imagine, but I would imagine that to be 20 to 30 riders with all the contenders present unless something happens. That's punchy. Not so sure about that. Would all the sprinters finish at the front? Maybe not. Probably a breakaway kind of stage anyway, but I don't see how any time gaps could happen there or here. Certainly not on a flat 16. 17. The Galibier. And right before it, the Telegraph with only a very limited descent that's only going to bring your heart rate down. I don't think you're going to get any recovery on that. That's massive. And it eases off here, and it's going to allow some gaps to close up a little bit. But I think the descent is long enough, and the gradual downhill will give you enough stamina to just about hang on that you could see some really big gaps. And then, you add in this before it too. 17 is going to be huge. 18 is going to be huge. 19 flat. 20. One little hill here in Marseille for this one. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to get optimal time out of the time trials. So that's not going to be very helpful. Last year we were worried about it because Berlikov not great in the time trial. He didn't lose much time. He did okay. But those time trials weren't punishing. Neither are these. Of course, Champs-Élysées for stage 21. I think this race is going to be decided before stage 20. A ways before. There are definitely, 4 really hard stages. Really decisive stages where the race day condition of not only Karaman but the other leaders is going to be really important. Or, sorry, not career mode. Of me. I'm the leader. We're on Stage Racer. My bad. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.